everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the vlog. As you could tell by my voice, I am feeling a lot better than I was last week. COVID really does take you out and drains you as well. Anyway, we're certainly on the mend, and that means that we can get on with the garage build. So today the plan is to get the walls up to create my stud work walls, and then get the joists in on the top to the new roof joists put in place and tied in. That's the plan. Hopefully we'll get through that this week. So let's crack on. No point wasting time. Let's get on with the work. All right, let's start off with our friend the joist. So our joist is in. I'll show you in a second from the outside. It's tied into that joist there. Someone suggested pulling the joist all the way through, but as you can see, you've got all of these joists in a way that will mean cutting them, and that will just weaken the whole roof. So we're not doing that. Instead, we got it tied into here, and this is firmly is tied into the wall over here and on this existing wall here, which is staying. Now this wall here is coming out, and that's the reason why we have to tie it into this joist here. Okay, so all of this and this is coming out, not in this episode, but probably by the next one it'll all be out. Then we've got our walls that are going to go in, and then that will tie into that. So by the end of this episode, we want to get our walls up, our stud walls up, our hole for the window. So the new that window we're going to take out and we're going to put in here, and then of course we want to come across to over here. So that's what we want to try and accomplish by this episode. But first of all, I need to get that stud wall up. But before we need to do that, we're going to put our DPM down. So as you can see, we've got some DPM down at the moment, and what we're going to do, we're going to fold it up and staple it to the end of the wood there. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I've got the when we put the OSB board up, we've got a covering for that, and that's going to come proud of that. And then this stuff here, which is what I'm going to put on the outside of that, is going to sit down low like that, so it'll cover the DPM. So any water is just going to come and rush off. It's not going to come inside, or it's not going to sit and soak in. Right, let's get that sorted. Right, first stud wall up in place. That went on pretty well actually. There is a gap there because the wall isn't straight. So it's not that I've made a mistake. This is perfectly straight, and I want this to be straight. The wall isn't. So what we'll do is we'll pat that out, and then that will allow us to screw up tight, so to firm up this wall, because obviously this is going to remain as a timber wall. Now the next thing I've got to do is get some concrete screws to screw down, and then once we get those in place, and then we will we'll staple these to this timber, and then the OSB will fit on front of that. So basically that's how this will go, and this will ensure that no water comes inside of this wall. So concrete screws to secure it to these blocks, and then we'll go on to build the next wall. Now the next wall is going to be very interesting because we've got to put an aperture for this window to fit in. So we'll have to measure a few times on that, and of course we've got to also include the sill, and I'll get a new sill for this because it does need a new one, because that one is, well, it's not a mess. The original sill is actually underneath it. This is just this is a bit of guttering. No, it's not. It's a bit of eaves that I've glued on top to make a sill. But of course what happens is that water will get inside. So we get a proper sill. It means that this will sit on that properly, and then we can we can work out what we need. But to do that, we need to get the seal first, so we know what we're playing with, and in that way we can then build out our aperture. So what we'll do, we'll build this frame, but unlike this one where we've got the battens going across there at 360 or 400 mil, that's the gap, we'll leave a bigger gap to allow for the window. So we'll just build the outside frame. You'll see what I mean in a second. No point me explaining, let me show you. Right, let's turn our attention to the next part of the wall. So this is obviously going to go along there and stitch to that. All the bits that we need are here. Let's put this together. This will encapsulate the window, and obviously we're going to put a couple of battens in. So let's get on and screw them all together. Okay, all done. Now we just got to put it in place. Now, a lot of you will be saying, Paul, why don't you hire a nail gun? Well, because there's a cost to hire a nail gun, plus all the consumables, etc. Whereas I've got a perfectly good impact driver and some good strong screws. We'll do exactly the same job. Right, let's get this in place. Okay, so frame is up. Now we just need to secure it to our dwarf wall, and to do that we've got these little concrete screws. So basically we just screw them in like that, and then we get our impact wrench and then just drive them in. There you go, simple as that. Right, got 4 more to do, and then that'll be this bit finished.
The next morning.
Right, now, I'm going to deal with this roof now. So we've got this 45, actually no, 50 by 120 joist that we're going to be putting across. And what we're going to do, we're going to pin them to that joist. Now, we've raised this slightly, because what we want is the roof to go at an angle. And the reason being is that the whole roof goes down at an angle down to the end, and we've got a drain pipe. You can see the water butts collecting the water there. But what we don't want is the water to cascade over the edge. So if we lean it in, point it down, it means when we get the roof on, any water coming off there will just go down there. We've got this gutter here which will remain, because this leans out into there and feeds into that drain there. But for here, we don't want that to happen. Now, hopefully we'll get this right, but if not, we can extend this drain down the end. But ideally, I don't want to have a drain. I just want to have the fascia board, and that's it. So let's see how we get on with that. Okay, so we've got our roof in place, or at least our joists. And now we can get our OSB board to cover the roof. This wasn't too bad to do actually, it's quite simple, but it's nice and strong. It's holding itself up well. Oh, by the way, this is our windowsill. I need to cut that down to size. Right, okay, so we're looking good at the moment. So the next phase is to obviously get the OSB board on the outside of this, and then we are good to go. On this joist here, obviously we're going to double it up so we can strengthen it. But yeah, I guess we are at a place where we can start thinking about taking all of this apart. That's going to be very interesting to do. Okay, so that is it for this week. Next week we continue to sort out the garage. We'll get the roof on, we'll get the OSB board on the outside, and we'll get the covering on the outside as well, the waterproof membrane. And then we are in a position, I think, to take down that wall. That's going to be the big one. Don't forget to subscribe down here if you're a casual viewer, and click on the bell notifications so that you are notified whenever we release a new video. And we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a great week.